Hello, this is Cash Mirage, the $1 Million Hunger Games. Picture a glamorous woman adorned in sparkling diamonds. Tears glisten on her flawless, perfectly made-up face. She holds up a photo of a starving child. "Every dollar you give," she whispers softly into the camera, "goes straight to feeding these innocent souls." Fast forward 6 months. That same woman is sharing Instagram stories from the deck of a massive yacht in Monaco. She casually sips champagne that costs more than most people's monthly rent. How did we get here? This isn't fiction. It's the shocking true story of Victoria Sterling, the woman who turned charity into her personal cash machine. I remember the night I first saw her campaign video. 2 a.m., mindlessly scrolling through social media when suddenly, there she was. Blonde hair cascading like liquid gold, eyes heavy with the weight of the world's pain. She stood in what seemed like a refugee camp, surrounded by gaunt children clutching empty bowls. "I can't sleep," she said, voice trembling just enough to sound sincere. "While I rest safely, these children cry themselves to sleep from hunger." The camera lingered on faces that haunt your dreams, mothers holding babies so thin they barely looked alive, children with hollow cheeks and sunken eyes. Victoria's voice continued, "Together we can change this. Every dollar you donate goes directly to food. No overhead, no hidden fees. Just pure, life-saving aid." Within hours, 3 million views. Donations poured in, over $2 million in just days. That night, I donated $50. Half my friends did too. Victoria had done something extraordinary. She made herself the face of suffering and the only solution. But here's where the story darkens. 3 weeks later, my friend Jake, an investigative journalist, sent me screenshots that chilled me. Victoria Sterling, the woman who couldn't sleep over starving children, was dining at a Michelin-starred restaurant in Beverly Hills. The bill? $12,000 for a single meal. Maybe it was a fundraiser, I hoped. Jake's next photos crushed that hope. Victoria stepping off private jets, shopping on Rodeo Drive with bags that could feed entire villages, indulging in facials costing more than a family's weekly groceries. Meanwhile, the charity's website showed funds barely enough to feed 300 children for 1 month. Something didn't add up. What Jake found over 2 months was a masterclass in legal theft. Victoria's charity, Hearts Without Borders Frauke-Aids, was technically legitimate, but like many scams, it operated in a gray zone that would confuse even top lawyers. Yes, money went to hunger relief. But here's the catch. It was funneled to another organization Victoria controlled, an organization that spent 87% of donations on operational costs. What were those costs? A tangled web of Victoria's lifestyle disguised as charity work. Her CEO's salary reached $400,000 annually. Her travel expenses for visiting affected areas mysteriously totaled $300,000. But here's the kicker. Those trips? 5-star hotels in Dubai, while her social media showed humble tent visits that lasted exactly long enough for a photo shoot. Out of every dollar donated, barely 8 cents went to actual food. Think about that for a second. But wait, it gets worse. Those heartbreaking photos and videos, they weren't even from Victoria's charity. Jake traced them to stock photo sites and legitimate aid groups, from different countries and years. Victoria had built a stage of misery. She starred herself as the hero and charged millions for the performance. The yacht? Mobile headquarters. The jewelry? Donated by supporters and auctioned. The lavish dinners? Cultivation events to attract big donors. Every excessive expense was legally justified by lawyers and accountants who were experts in non-profit optimization. You know what that is? Legal theft with paperwork. When the investigation broke, Victoria staged a tearful press conference. Black dress, tissue boxes, photos of starving children surrounding her. "I am devastated," she sobbed. "My heart breaks knowing people doubt my dedication. Every decision was for our mission." She claimed the yacht was essential for reaching remote coasts. The jewelry was auctioned. The dinners were necessary to attract donors. Legally clean, morally repugnant. But here's the chilling truth. Victoria's charity didn't fall because she was caught. It collapsed because she got greedy. Had she taken a modest salary and actually fed some children, this scam could have lasted decades. The charity industry is full of people living comfortably off others' suffering. Victoria's mistake wasn't dishonesty. It was blatant greed. Weeks after the scandal, charges were filed. Not fraud. That's hard to prove. But tax evasion and money laundering. You see, the IRS doesn't care about starving kids, but it cares about its cut of yacht purchases. Victoria fled to a non-extradition country, likely on charity money. Last I heard, she runs a wellness retreat in Belize, helping rich women find their authentic selves through mindful luxury. The audacity is breathtaking. The tragedy isn't just the stolen millions. It's the donors who now hesitate to help real charities, the legitimate aid groups who must prove they aren't another Victoria Sterling. Mostly, it's the children still starving while Victoria sips cocktails on a beach, convinced she's the victim. The saddest part? Months later, nearly identical campaigns appeared on social media. Different faces, same heartbreaking photos, same empty promises. But here's what Jake discovered that kept me awake for weeks. Victoria wasn't working alone. And she wasn't the first. The network behind the nightmare. What Jake discovered next made Victoria's scam look like child's play. He found a web of interconnected charities, all sharing the same legal team, the same accounting firm, the same marketing agency, a factory of manufactured compassion. The operation had a name, Compassion Capital LLC. Think of it as Uber for fake charities. They provided the infrastructure, you provided the face. Marcus Reed bought a private island for board retreats. Sarah Chen traveled the world in private jets for her environmental research. Each charity was legally bulletproof. Each founder lived in luxury. Each cause remained unsolved, but the masterminds behind Compassion Capital remained shadows. Jake traced 17 such operations across 3 countries, totaling over 60 million in stolen donations. Yet every trail led to shell companies, offshore accounts, and lawyers who specialized in making evidence vanish. The Psychology of Giving, Dr. Amanda Foster, a behavioral psychologist Jake consulted, revealed the dark genius of Victoria's approach. She understood that people don't donate to causes, they donate to stories, and she made herself the hero of every story. Victoria's videos weren't about hungry children. They were about Victoria's pain at seeing hungry children. The suffering became her suffering. The solution became her solution. Without Victoria, the children had no hope. That's not charity. That's emotional hostage-taking. The targeting was surgical. Social media algorithms delivered customized versions to different demographics. Professionals heard about leveraging privilege. Young adults were told they could be the change. The elderly received messages about lasting legacy. Every word tested, every image measured for maximum emotional response. We weren't donating to children. We were buying Victoria's performance. The ripple effect. The Victoria Sterling scandal poisoned the well for everyone. Legitimate organizations like Doctors Without Borders, donations plummeted. Local food banks struggled as suspicious donors pulled support. Victoria didn't just steal money, said Robert Williams of the City Food Alliance. She stole trust. We're still rebuilding it 3 years later. Some organizations fought back with radical transparency, live-streamed operations, real-time spending reports. Others created the Charity Verification Network, spending millions on proving innocence instead of providing aid. The bureaucracy of distrust had become its own industry. Ironic, isn't it? The system designed to catch fraudsters now costs more than the fraud itself. The new generation, while legitimate charities bled donors, scammers evolved. The next generation learned from Victoria's mistakes. They live modestly, at least publicly. They actually deliver some aid, enough to claim success, but not enough to make a difference. They've gone micro with dozens of smaller charities that fly under the radar. They've gone international, operating across multiple countries to make investigation nearly impossible. Most disturbingly, they've gone institutional, partnering with major corporations seeking tax benefits and positive PR. But there's something else Jake discovered that changes everything. Something that makes Victoria's yacht look like pocket change. The real cost. Maria Santos was 8 when her photo launched Victoria's Yacht Fund. Now 16, she works 12-hour factory shifts to support her siblings, living in the same poverty that was supposedly being addressed. I remember that photo being taken, Maria told Jake. The photographer gave us each a piece of candy afterward. I thought it would help somehow. She paused. I didn't know it would buy someone a boat. The candy cost 50 cents. Victoria's yacht cost $2.8 million. Jake's final report revealed the scope: $200 million stolen from hunger relief in the past decade. That's enough to feed 50,000 children for an entire year. But those numbers pale beside the faces Jake found as the real children from those stock photos, still waiting for the help their images promised to deliver. Still waiting, still hungry, still forgotten. Fighting back. Jake's investigation sparked a movement. ArcNet charity watchdogs, journalists, accountants, and former aid workers became underground hunters tracking suspicious organizations. They've exposed 37 fake charities and returned over $12 million to donors. Their methods? Data analysis spotting spending patterns, undercover operations at fundraising events, following the money trail. Every yacht purchase leaves digital fingerprints. Cryptocurrency isn't as anonymous as scammers believe. These citizen investigators work for free, driven by the same desire to help that Victoria exploited. The difference? They actually help. But here's what nobody talks about. the cost of this war. Real aid organizations now spend more on proving their legitimacy than some spend on actual aid. The verification industry has become bigger than many of the causes it's meant to protect. We're fighting fraud with more bureaucracy. How's that for irony? The ongoing war. Today's battle lines are drawn between increasingly sophisticated scammers and investigators. Deepfake technology creates testimonials from imaginary beneficiaries. Blockchain analysis tracks hidden financial flows. For every Victoria Sterling exposed, 2 more emerge with better lawyers and cleaner paperwork. The system that created her, still churning out new faces, new tears, new yachts purchased with other people's compassion. The most disturbing part? Jake recently showed me surveillance footage from a Compassion Capital meeting. The attendees weren't discussing how to help people, they were calculating optimal tragedy to profit ratios, debating which natural disasters generated the highest donation spikes. They've turned human suffering into a spreadsheet. And business is booming. Victoria Sterling sips cocktails in Belize, running wellness retreats for wealthy women seeking authentic experiences. She's planning her comeback, Jake warns. New face, new cause, same empty promises. The $1 million Hunger Games never ended. They just found better players. Before you donate, research. Before you share that heartbreaking video, verify. The children in those photos are real, even when the charity isn't. Their suffering matters even when the solution is false. Until we change the system that rewards emotional manipulation over actual results, the house will always win, the children will always lose. And somewhere, a new Victoria Sterling is practicing her tears in front of a mirror, preparing to break your heart and empty your wallet. What she doesn't know yet is that Jake is watching. And this time he's not alone. If you enjoyed this investigation, please support independent journalism. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell me in the comments, have you ever suspected a charity wasn't legitimate? What made you doubt them?